I just watched Together. It's been a great year for horror movies, hasn't it? So Together is creepy, gross, disturbing, and surprisingly has a lot to say about relationships. The core of this movie isn't the body horror, it's more on the relationship between Alison Brie and Dave Franco's characters. And the body horror is just there to prop up the relationship of said two characters. And if there is one absolute positive about this movie, it is its focus on this relationship, thanks in large part to the great chemistry between the two leads. And I also know they are dating in real life. That level of meta storytelling is not lost on me. You don't really side with either character, you really understand them both. And yes, they make stupid mistakes, but it's done with such balance that you never really feel out of it. And if anything, it really strengthens the viewing experience. And especially when shit hits the fan, you really feel it because you're rooting for these characters. You're rooting for the relationship. But just like relationships, you don't really know where it's gonna go, even though you have a rough idea. All that is to say, this movie is really clever and really gross. In a good way. And also Together is surprisingly funny. I wasn't expecting me and a bunch of people in my hall to be laughing as much as we did. I don't know how much of that is intentional on the director's part and how much of that was me coping with laughter at the incredibly disturbing situations the movie is showing me. But still, great direction. And the tone is just right. It's not too grim, it's not too edgy, it's sweet and sincere in some parts and disturbing as fuck in others. But the balance is there, and I think that's really important. So hats off to you, Michael Shanks, you made a good one. I kind of feel like a lot of modern media paints relationships in a negative way, and this movie is kind of the opposite of that. This movie paints relationships as imperfect, but beautiful. It's raw and it's real, and this movie has a surprisingly really good message about relationships and how a healthy one should be. It's just crazy to me that this great message about relationships is delivered through a weird, gross body horror movie. But that's the magic of cinema, baby. Okay, problems. Together is a fun time at the cinema for sure, but I don't think it's the greatest horror picture of the year, like a lot of people are saying. Sure, this movie has a lot to say, and it says it really well, but it didn't leave me with the same feeling I left coming out of Bring Her Back or Companion, which are two of my favorite movies of the year. And maybe I will have liked to have seen a different ending for this movie. Yeah, the ending that we got cemented the relationship and showed undeniable growth in a gross, weird way. I think a different path would have yielded the same narrative result and maybe yielded a more satisfying conclusion. I don't know. That's just me. Still though, the ending we got was surprisingly sweet, weird, and gross, but sweet. And it definitely sticks with you for days. I saw this movie like 2 or 3 days ago and I'm still thinking about it. So, there you go. So look, in the end, if the goal of Together was to make you uncomfortable, it did it. If the goal was to have this movie stuck in your head for days, it did. If the goal was to have that one Spice Girls song stuck in your head as well, it also did that. And if the goal was to show how relationship grows, breaks, and mends itself through the lens of body horror cinema, it succeeded. Together, it's a very good movie. It's definitely in the B+ tier for me. B+ for body horror. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.